Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff. Hey guys, welcome back to FFC. I'm Maureen.
I'm Jeanette.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Eve.
And we are back with another review for you, or recap rather, because we are going over The Way Home today. This is a show we found, November, October, something like that. We found it a while ago, and we all sort of, it was really good. We loved it, but we all sort of forgot it existed until we started seeing ads for it's coming out, season 2, January 21st. Oh, crap. We got excited. I mean, fresh. Yeah, we're very excited about it. It was a really good show. It's not... But the way we work at FFC is we hardcore binge things and then we move on to the next binge. So if we don't record like right after we binge something, it kind of gets thrown on the back burner. But this one we love. We're excited it's coming back. So we're going to talk about it. We just want to remind you that this year it's going to look a little different as we start processing when our shows come out. And we know that we have our Chicago's are renewing mid-January. So by the time you're seeing this, we will be recording our Chicago review most likely. And that will come out the week after. Again, we try to get our podcast out on Sundays at 6 Eastern is when I try to get the videos out. Sometimes I'm a little late. Sometimes it's 6 Central. But we are trying to get them out on Sundays. So expect new episodes on Sundays. We're going to be going over premiere episode reviews. All of our shows. And those are coming back in a wild range from mid-January to February to March. So it's... Our premieres for all the seasons are all out of whack since the strike. So those will keep coming at you. Every time one of our shows is renewed, we'll have one for you. We're still trying to wrap up some of our streaming shows, like My Life with the Walter Boys should be coming out soon here. Sullivan's Crossing, which has also been renewed, if I'm correct, right? So Sullivan's Crossing is another one that you can watch while we're waiting. That has Chad Michael Murray and it has Luke Danes.
Scott Patterson.
Thank you.
Oh, I just went along with it too.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
She was
Luke.
thinking. I could tell she was thinking, and it wasn't coming to her. So,
There's 2 Gilmore Girl alums, or if you want to look at it, a Gilmore Girl alum and a One Tree Hill alum. We just finished that. So if you have not seen those, go back and watch our review. We've done One Tree Hill newbie reacts videos to One Tree Hill. We did season 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 and 9. So we've got them all there for you. Go check those out. We're also going to be bringing you things like The Bear, reviewing that because that has been renewed for season 3. I don't know if they started filming yet for it, but it has been renewed for season 3. So we want to make sure we review that because when that comes out, that's one of our shows that we will be reviewing because it is so good. It's foul-mouthed, but it's so good. And like The Way Home is another one we're bringing you tonight. So just keep an eye out for all that fun stuff and stay tuned for that. Right now, we're going to get into The Way Home, and I'm going to give you the synopsis for it. And this I just pulled right from IMDb. So our goal today is to give you the synopsis, talk about the main characters, what happened. So if you do not want spoilers, possibly stop here until you watched it because we are going to be talking about things and we will be talking about how season 1 ended because it's been out for a while. It's available to you. So if you don't want spoilers, just know to stop. The synopsis is...
come back.
Yes, and come back after you've watched it. Or if you don't mind spoilers, we're not going to be giving like great details. This is going to be a quick episode just going down. And you want to see if you like it, you can tune in. The synopsis is 3 generations of strong and independent women living together in the small farm town of Port Haven embark on an enlightening journey none of them could have imagined as they learn how to find their way back to each other. I got to tell you, none of that prepares you for what happens in the show.
No, that doesn't.
It's like very light description of what the show is.
Who wrote that?
It says nothing about a magical time traveling lake in that description at all.
Which is what the show's about.
Yes. So, spoiler, if you don't know, that's what happens. But I'm pretty sure you figured that out fairly quickly in the show. So I don't think that's really giving away too much.
I mean, it's in the first episode.
That's
so
pretty much the
Yeah.
premise of the whole show. So I think we're good there.
So you were like, oh, dang, spoiler right off the bat. I mean, you're not really watching the show if you don't know that. So that is what it's, the way I would put the synopsis is 3 generations of women, family trauma in the family. They return to their roots and find a magical time traveling lake. That's the synopsis I would write for the show.
That's better.
So the main character in this show, it's the Landry family is, I would say, the main characters, even though the way we have them listed is the way they're listed on IMDb. So it's in order of who's in the most episodes. but like Brady is listed towards the end, but he's a main character. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is mainly about the Landry family and their relationships with other people and how it affects them. Kyler Lay plays Kat Landry. She's the mom. We meet her right off the bat in the first episode. She's a writer, right? I don't
Yeah.
remember what she does. She's a
She
writer.
was Lexi on
The
Yeah,
writer.
she's
Grey's
the
Anatomy.
reason that the three of us watched the show because
Yeah.
of Lexi like Gray.
Oh, really?
She was she was Meredith Grey's
was
sister
Meredith's sister. Like
in Grey's Anatomy. She was a huge.
I made the
mean,
face like, oh wow, but I don't know what that
She
means,
even
actually.
came back in
do
the
you remember
2020 season during Meredith's
Season
dreams.
that we don't
Coma
Coma.
Fever?
talk
Yeah.
about.
Well,
Her
look,
beach
the
dreams.
where I just talked about like the character in One Tree Hill that we hated, and I was like, oh, she messed up. Lexi and Mark. Well, yeah, like the Lexi.
Lexi.
Is
Oh,
like so she's like, and she's a fan favorite. Like I don't know anyone
Yes.
who doesn't like Lexi Gray. I mean,
Okay.
she's big time fan. So
she's a great actress. I like her.
yes.
We love her.
So she's the reason we like us, at least us three, like found the show and
I
decided.
thought
to
you
give
guys
it a
just
shot.
stumbled on it.
No.
It was because of her.
It was
But
because
I
of
will
her.
admit, I had no expectations when I went into this because it was a Hallmark show, and
Oh,
That's
don't
typically
knock
not-
Hallmark.
I'm not.
It's not
That's
that she
typically
was
not.
And then Andy McDowell, who I love too. So
Yeah, I
I
mean-
watched this, and then it got really good, and that's when I started nagging you guys to watch it.
I think that's not what like. It's just not what you normally. It's not what I normally watch. Like these, and
Yeah.
also, but I think this isn't like a. It's not what you think it is because going into it a Hallmark show, it is like a feel good family show, but like there's
There's
so
drama,
much more.
tension.
And there's mystery, which we always love in our
Mhm.
shows, like trying to figure things out. So like I think that was the part that I mean, look at our IMDb description. I mean, obviously that's not the way they were like advertising the show.
Mhm.
But it's like so I think I was surprised like when I started watching of how like
Yeah.
riveting and how like
Yeah.
much it like kept you like wanting to know what was happening the next episode.
And I will
agree.
say, after like episode 1, I was like, I'm curious. But after episode 2, I was like, okay, I'm invested now.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
like any show, it's don't give up on any show that you ever watch after 1 episode.
No, you
Certainly
gotta give,
not
like,
the very
3.
first, because
Surely 3 episodes.
they have to build up, they have to introduce all these things. So episode
Mhm.
1s are always set up episodes. You don't ever want to give up after 1 episode. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, this seems kind of interesting. The acting is good because again, Andy McDowell, Kyler Lee, great acting. And I love, no, you guys, we just released a couple weeks ago the other Zoe review, which also had Andy McDowell. So he's like 2 in a row, like, hey, my girl. I love her. I think the first
And
thing I ever saw-
she did Maid. Which I
Oh, she was in Maid.
love.
Andy McDowell was in Maid, really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
with
She
her
was the
daughter.
mom.
I've never
Her
seen
daughter-
Maid.
Oh, really?
You told me to
Ooh.
watch it, but you told us
I
that it
haven't
was good,
either.
but I haven't watched it yet.
I loved Maid. I it's not one of those I would like rewatch because I know what happens, but it's based on a true story. It's
Oh,
the lady whose story is about. She just came out with her second book, like
Hmm.
expanding it a little bit. So
okay. And Eve, you watched it too?
Mm-hmm. It was good.
it's Andy McDowell and her daughter, like in real life daughter, are the two main characters in that in
Hmm.
Maid.
Yeah, so Andy McDowell was great. So after episode 2, episode 1 is the setup. Season 2 is the building on that. And by episode 3, you're like, oh, I need to know what happens. And you're
Mhm.
trying to, by episode 3, I was trying to piece together, okay, I think this is what happened. And then I think this happened. So it got me by then. And my daughter, I asked her because she binge watched this over Christmas break. She asked permission to watch. I was like, yeah, I don't think there's anything bad in it. So she watched it in a day and a half. She finished there's only 10 episodes. So it's not
Well
like it's a
done.
crazy long thing. But I asked her today before we started, I was like, is there anything you want me to say? Yeah, just say it's good. Anything else? And she went,
Solid
no,
review.
it's just good.
She had no other thoughts other than it's good.
From a 13-year-old, high praise.
I mean, the fact that she said anything like
Mhm. Yes.
that's something. Yeah,
So there's
It
that.
slays.
it slays. That's right.
And Evan Williams plays Elliot Augustine. I love Elliot.
Mm.
Oh
Love
my
him.
gosh.
Love him so much.
He came out of left field.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be upset if he doesn't end up with Kat.
He better.
He has to.
Oh,
Or
Jeanette's
I-
about to fight for Brady. What?
No.
Okay.
I was about to
definitely, like,
say,
Team Elliot.
kick her out of here.
No, I'm Team Elliot. But like, I didn't like how it ended with Elliot. Like,
Well,
I
no, but
know.
it's
it
season
felt, like,
1.
so I know, but it felt so like I have questions about
I have
Elliot.
questions.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's something missing in that
Oh.
story. It
I
just
do
feels
too.
weird the way he left. Like, I don't know. There's something up. There's something
Well,
up.
I mean,
There's
that
something
he's-
we don't know.
He knew from the beginning who Alice was.
right.
So I mean,
then
he's dealt all
why-
these years with it.
So then why at the end did you just abruptly, I don't know, it just felt, now
And
granted,
I'm
like I
gonna
said,
have to
it's been a
rewatch it
while
because I don't
since I've
remember feeling
seen it.
that.
I just remember feeling like this feels not right. Like what's happening right now?
Oop.
But like it's been a while since I've seen it, so I can't give you like details. I know it's horrible. I should have recapped. But like I just remember thinking there is more to this Elliot story
I
than
agree
we
with
have
that.
right now.
I didn't feel wrong about it though. I remember feeling like, why?
Because I felt like it took there was so much effort. He had waited so long. I mean, I know he'd been married in between or whatever, but it felt like he had waited so long to have Kat.
Yeah.
And then he had her. I mean, he felt like I know that he was upset because she kept pushing it, kept wanting to travel, kept wanting to do this stuff. And he didn't want her to, but it felt like he gave up so easily after he had waited for so long.
But I think it's because he was told she married somebody else.
No, I meant like even like at the end, like because they break up. I'm not misremembering this, right? At the end of
Elliot
season
and
one,
Kat?
yeah, they're not together.
Well, no, because she ends up making out with her ex-husband.
I don't know. I just remember feeling like this feels weird. This feels like an odd jump in the storyline after all we've gone through this season, and
Okay.
Yeah.
for
I'm
no
gonna need to-
reason.
I'm
I
gonna
guess.
need to rewatch again to see because my daughter just did it and I watched most of it with her and I don't remember feeling that way about him.
It
I
felt
remember
out of
being
left field,
okay. All right.
in my opinion.
Well, there's also Sadie the Flame Snow, who I couldn't see that name and not think, oh, I need to watch the Songbirds movie because President Snow's in that. For those of you who are wondering about the
do
reference,
need to watch the Ballad.
I
of
want to
Songbirds.
reread the book first, and then I'm going to go watch it.
God. It's
But
Elena says it's the best Hunger Games movie yet.
I don't really
She's
trust Elena's
obsessed.
judgment.
You
I
should,
do.
Elena. She has wonderful judgment. Although
That's just because she's Team Damon already. That's the only reason you trust her judgment.
I laughed so
No.
hard during that movie because I was like, Elena, we can't like President Snow. He's a bad guy. She goes, not yet. He's not a bad guy yet. And I was like, I like your logic.
She's
not
your
that bad.
daughter. She is so
Yeah.
daughter.
She's so my kid.
But she is still questioning you on Rafe. So I mean,
She's got
Not
got
there
more
yet.
sense about her than I do. Yeah, it's true.
well, Sadie the Flame Snow, or I might be pronouncing her first last name, her first surname wrong. But she plays Alice Dewan. She plays Kat's daughter. And she is the one who time travels. And it took me a minute to understand that, okay, somebody knows that's her daughter. Okay, somebody gets it. But it
Yeah.
led to this, like her time traveling led to some weird storylines. I was like, but is this okay?
It is okay. I don't care.
I think it's okay because they're both the same age at the same.
I don't know
like,
why I think
time.
it's okay. I would still even like I'd venture to say like as soon as she's 18, I ship it in real life. And I know that's weird, but I was so into that love story that I just wanted
It's
her
all-
to stay back in 1998 and
I
live happily
know.
ever after with
I'm
him.
with Elliot here.
I was into it and I understand that it's weird, but
When he shows
it
up
was
to the
such
door
good
and I'm
chemistry.
like,
I'm
Oh,
so
don't
like
like it,
I'm
don't like it,
visibly
don't like it, don't
uncomfortable when
ship
he
it.
shows up.
Can we find a way? Like, look, okay, I think anything's possible in a show. What is his name? Because we need to
Nick.
like Nick. Okay. Anything's possible in a show with time travel. So can Nick somehow travel to the future and be teenage Nick in the time that Alice lives?
I think they're
Because
trying to
then that's
limit
perfect.
how much they time travel.
No, but they need to be together.
I don't know. I'm with Elliot here. This is highly illegal.
I mean, not in 1998 when they're both the same
But
age.
it is when she's chasing him down in the present day.
How old is she? We got a couple years, right? She's 16.
16.
He's in his
Well,
30s.
I'm just saying. Look,
Okay,
we all shipped
listen.
Ezra and Arya, so we're just gonna be cool.
That's different.
How
Not
is
really.
that different?
That's
Because
worse.
we
At least
recognize
these
how
knew each other
awful
when they
that
were
is.
teenagers.
At least these two met when they were teenagers. Like it's better than
In
Ezra.
Arya's
and Arya.
defense, she thought he was a teenager. In Ezra's
No.
defense, there is no defense. He
No,
knew
Ezra's
exactly
the
what
one
she
that
he
was.
knew exactly, as we come to find out. Sorry for
The
any of
reason
the
it's
Pretty
different
Little
is
Liars.
because I recognize how
True.
dirty and wrong that is. That's why it's different. Eve, back me up. What do you feel about the Nick and Alice storyline?
It was just too weird. Especially
No, saying
no, it was weird because then no, it was fine at first. At first I was like, okay, whatever. But then when it was in the see, this is where it gets confusing, like which one is present day. But when it got into like, our like present day, where Kat and her daughter live, and she was still looking for Nick, I'm like, no, now it's illegal.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
Do you know what I thought was going
That
to
is
happen?
exactly how I feel.
And I was so hoping that it would. We kept talking about, like, Nick was kind of mysterious and he was coming there to perform and do all this stuff. I really somehow in my mind had it that like an adult Alice was going to come with him somehow. And like somehow there had been some time travel involved where they ended up getting to be together and they were the same age. I don't know how it was working out in my
I
head.
think they'll make it happen.
I thought somehow Alice was going to be because didn't they talk about another mysterious person that was with him or like something? Like they talked about something.
Just that he was with someone, I think.
I really
who?
I thought for sure it was going to be adult Alice somehow in like a different like time period. I don't know. I was
I
hoping.
think they'll end up together some way or another to where it is legal.
I hope so.
It's Hallmark after all.
I liked it at first until I realized, oh, he's still a person in present day. And then Elliot's like, and then that's when I was like, oh, okay. I should not root for this.
But it's true love.
somehow make it legal and not weird, then sure, I can.
Yes. If you can make it not a 16-year-old with a 30-year-old, I'm for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Can we make
No,
it?
I
an
don't want the
18-year-old
16-year-old with a 30-year-old, but I want them to find a way to where they can
together?
be together.
That's what I mean.
How
Yeah.
hard she fought for that though, to like track him down and like find him and then be so sad when he's
It's
not at the
true
movie. Like,
love.
oh boy, this is gonna end badly for you, especially since, well, that's the other thing. Okay, this is a plot hole that I guess they just kind of explain away as, well, it's her daughter. She wouldn't think this looks like her friend, but maybe she had the thought, oh, this looks like my friend.
Yeah.
What was her name in the past? What name did she use?
Elliot talked about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just about how like I think because she had watched her grow up and change that she didn't realize that like
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They explained it away, but like other people should know and realize that. But then they did. This is what I appreciate about it, because you would think, oh, this is a big plot hole because
Mhm.
she's in your life. But when they would think, they did like flashbacks in Kat's mind, it was always blurry. Some parts that were blurry, like her brain was blocking out that
Mhm.
this was actually her
Yeah.
friend. She just knew that the friend would disappear. And so I guess that's kind of what they did. But
Yeah.
it seemed, part of me was like, how
mean-
do you not recognize this girl though? And I think Nick would, because he's so far removed from the situation.
Uh-huh.
It's like he's looking at her then.
Mhm.
I think they mentioned something that it was because it was such a traumatizing summer from losing Jake, and then like her dad, and it was just a traumatizing time that I don't think she would really put the two and two together. I mean, you would never think the daughter you birthed would be your
Right.
friend from back in
Exactly.
the
That's what
day.
I'm saying. Yeah.
So like it would never like cross my mind to be like,
You'd be
"Ooh,
like,
I know
oh,
you."
wow, you look like her. That's crazy.
Like, yeah, I feel like
Well, the
that would
fact
answer
that
it.
she's essentially named after herself. I
Yeah.
think
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's funny. And then
That's hilarious.
we've got Dell, who is Andy McDowell. She plays mom, and she's very closed off and very angry when we first meet her. I had a lot of issues with Dell when we first meet her in the present, because she's so, but I mean, I get it. She's so altered by the loss of her son, who's never ever found. And she's coming to grips with the fact that she's going to have to release him, but also she's never let go of her husband who died. And then her daughter just leaves her and doesn't want her. And so, I mean, I get why she's so angry. So
Yeah.
it took a couple episodes for me to get there, though, to a place of understanding with Dell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really like ever dislike her. I
I
just
didn't
felt
either.
like she was just a hard
Exactly.
woman, and she had to be
Mhm.
hard, and because she had to, I mean, take care of everything. She was all by herself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She'd been through trauma back, like trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I never like had any kind of like
No.
bad feelings towards her at all. I just was like, I feel bad for her that she has to be this tough.
And it took a couple episodes, though, to see the softness that she does have under the
Mhm.
hardness, because she is soft. She puts this on because she is so broken.
Yeah. I had myself was convinced that Dell had also like time traveled and that there was going to be like I had myself convinced of this. I actually had myself convinced that she was the lady from the past that had
Running
come
with
through, the
running
White
with
Witch or whatever. I
I
really
think the
had myself
husband knows a
convinced.
lot more than
Well, I
she
feel
does.
like if he knew more, he would have done more with the lake while he was looking for his son.
Mhm. You would think. I mean,
That is what I thought, because at the final episode, Dell finds Cat jumping in the lake, doesn't she?
I
Like, she's
think
watching it happen in the
I
final
think
episode.
so.
So
Yeah.
that was my thought too, is, oh, I bet Dell's the White Witch. But I think that
Like,
that's
I
when she
thought-
dives in. She dives in to save Cat, and she ends up back there.
I thought it was going to be that Dell came from that time. Because we
Okay.
talked, because she had mentioned something about like when she's explaining that like the Landry had this place a long time, but she had just moved there from whenever. I thought for sure she had like, and that's how she met her husband. She came through the lake, maybe when they were teenagers, they met, and then like she stayed there. Like I thought it was going to be her that had been
They just kept
chased
talking about the
there.
Landry land, so and she's not a original Landry, so
Maybe the
I
husband
just
was.
felt
and
like
he
it
just
was
talked about
like
it.
something from the
I don't
husband's
know.
side, more of it, but I don't know.
I don't know. I just thought like but I mean, in my opinion, the White Witch looked like it could have been. Which now that we know like who it is and stuff, like I can understand. Like
Wait, we do know who it is?
we do.
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's Cat.
It's final episode.
Yeah, because
I
Cat
don't remember
finds
seeing a
him.
face.
You don't, but like we know that she jumped back there and she gets. I can't remember how
You
it
do
works
at the
out.
very beginning because
they
she
show
turns
her-
around and sees Jacob.
Yeah,
Okay,
they-
okay, so she
running.
does turn around. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
they show
remember.
her face. Yeah.
Yeah, in the very first episode, the very beginning, where she's running through the woods at the very beginning.
Okay, I really need to
Now, in the
rewatch
first
this show.
episode, you don't see her face, but when they re-show this in
At
the
the
final
end.
episode,
Okay.
then we see the same scene, and she turns around. I'm pretty sure, and we see
Is
Jake.
that it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
because I just rewatched the first episode, so we don't. But I think at the end when they show that same scene again, then we find out it's Cat. But I thought like, and I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like I thought it looked like a young Dell, and I was
That's what I
convinced
thought.
that's what it was going to be.
That was kind of what I was hoping for, because I do want Dell to be involved in some way. I don't think, if she is involved, I don't think she really knows that she's involved, because she, again, with the son, I think that if she and her husband knew, they would have focused more on the lake in their search for the son.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
would have kept going back.
I think that dog for sure knows. That's why that dog keeps going back to
Yes.
see Jacob. He keeps going back and
Mm.
forth between the two, I think. But what
Mhm.
I can't figure out is how, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I can't figure out why Jacob's not been able to come back. But I guess the lake,
I don't think Jacob knows that's what happened. I think he's just
Yeah.
confused.
I think he got into
how
that
do you
portal
not know if
somehow.
you fall in a lake and then you wake up somewhere else? I mean, like, I know he's little, but he ain't that little. Like,
But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logic sense. I mean, even Alice was like, what is happening? And it took her a minute to realize what happened.
I guess.
And then unlike with Alice, I mean, he probably didn't have anyone who could be like,
Yeah.
hey, this is, where and when you are,
And
like help. Like he probably just didn't have anyone to help him through that. And he was just
Exactly.
like, well,
yeah.
I guess I'm just stuck here. Like
Which
And
I
maybe-
guess you
Yeah.
could try because the lake also decides when you can travel and when you can't. So maybe
Yeah.
the lake's not letting him come back for some reason.
And there's also the idea that maybe there was less strife where he drove back. So he thought he could help in some way. They were going through some issues, maybe he felt like, because I remember he left because somebody was fighting, right? Was it what's his name? Brady. Was it Brady and Kat were fighting, or his parents were fighting? One of them was fighting, and that's why she lost sight of him, because Kat was supposed to watch him.
Well,
Yeah, I was
he
supposed
went
to
back
watch
to the
him.
house, but then he like followed the dog. Well, he did. We see that he did go back because Alice, or they went to make sure, but then I think he chased the dog to the lake. It's the dog's fault.
Well, the dog knows something though, so I don't think that. I mean, I'm giving a dog way too much human credit, but something.
It's like an Australian Shepherd, aren't it? Those are
I
smart
kind of want the
dogs, so
dog to be a
maybe.
hero.
The dog might do it. I mean, I guarantee he's going back and seeing Jacob because he keeps traveling through that lake back and forth.
The dog does?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dell mentions like you can't keep him away from that lake. So I think the dog is traveling back and forth.
Oh my gosh, there's so much that I forgot.
I think the dog is traveling back and forth between, when Kat was young, like to where Alice was going.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, he's going everywhere, I think.
This is one show. Now, I know that it seems like, oh my gosh, did you even watch the show? But again, we watched the show back in October, November, and we all tried to rewatch it, but One Tree Hill was a force of nature. So it was hard to get it watched. But this is one show where I ended it. I'm like, I have no idea what is going on.
None.
No idea. And usually I have some sort of theory, but all I have right now, and I remember we talked about this when it finished, all I have right now are like 20 different possibilities that I think it could
Yeah.
be. And that's all
We're
I
all in the
got.
same boat.
The only thing that I had is I knew I was pretty convinced from the like very first episode that like Jacob had time traveled, but I didn't know when.
Same.
and
I always
how-
had that
where he
feeling too.
was, Like
They never found him. Nothing. Like you would have found somebody in that small little community. I'm sorry, I'm too much into true crime, but you would have found, unless he was like
kidnapped
abducted,
and taken. Yeah.
somebody would have found something eventually.
I thought that he'd been, he traveled through time back in time to wherever, we saw the White Witch at the very beginning.
And
Yeah.
they said she
Wherever
liked to
that White
snatch
Witch
children.
was, and that White Witch was there to, I guess, I don't know, find him, hurt him, like find him. But I didn't know it to find him because she wanted to help him or find him because
Mhm.
she sees him as a threat. Like that part I couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
When because Alice is starting to figure it out in present day where he went, and she goes to get that book, and he wrote his name, the JK. There's one where it looks like it's written in Old English, like that style of penmanship.
Mhm.
Oh, he does follow
Watch,
the dog in the
Jacob
water.
is going to be like the person who founded the Landry land.
Oh, I bet.
I bet so. I bet he's a huge plot to their family line.
Stuff so confusing, but I love it.
I do too. I love the story. It's something different. We always get the same things.
So I'm saying anything's possible when you got time travel involved in
I
a
know.
storyline.
Yeah.
Anything.
I love when Kat and Alice are trying to like discuss what they know, and they're like, "Oh, I figured something out." And Dell's right there, and she's like, what are you talking about? What is happening right now?" They don't stop to tell her anything. They're just talking about like it's totally normal what they're
I know.
discussing. Okay, I'm on the less than a minute to go. I just wanted to see her turn around.
Kat.
Oh, it is Kat,
It's Kat.
but she looks very different.
It's like
been
she's
tough
from a
back in
different
the-
time.
Yeah.
And she has the Dell hairstyle where it's long and it's
Yeah.
dark instead of the short and red.
I
So
think
she's
that's
bent-
her natural.
Yeah. So she is either
She's been there a
what
while.
if the whole family is back from then and they like have amnesia or selective
I
amnesia?
think it could be anything. Like I don't even know.
Oh no, that wouldn't work because I don't know. I want to know so bad.
I think
I
they're
wanna
from the
come up with
present
a theory
time, but
that's
they
so
time
smart.
traveled back. But if they time traveled back and they
But
stayed
Dell has
there,
to know
then-
more then.
They could have also started it because they time traveled back. Like that's the thing with time travel because they talked about the White Witch. Like
That's the thing with time travel. Says
The
the
lore-
expert over there.
I know, right? The lore is that she takes children. Well, it's probably because she went back there and she tries to take Jacob, which is where that like theory
bet
comes
so.
from. That the White Witch is there to take kids, and they're all afraid of her. She's there just to rescue him. But then that's now been passed down
Yeah.
because that was what. Yeah, I'm telling you, I bet I do. I stand by the fact. I think Jacob Landry is going to be the first Landry to own this land. He is starting his whole family line, but is also little Jacob Landry. Wait, that's confusing, but I think that's how it is.
Wait, so her brother's her daddy?
That's some incestuous stuff, but I really think that's how it's going to be.
This is the problem with freaking time travel theories.
So her
Is
little
that
brother is gonna end up being one
her
of her
daddy.
ancestors.
He's her great granddaddy.
any time travel theory you come up with just ends up gross.
This is why Alice and Nick being together is the least of our worries.
Well, I didn't think about that until you said it that way.
True,
Fine.
yes.
It's all going to be fine. I promise.
Because she had to have been there for a while. Because when we see Kat at the very last second of the episode, literally the last second of the episode is when
Her
we see that the
hair's
White
like-
Witch is Kat.
yeah.
It's long, it's black, she looks ragged, so she's been there a while.
She's
Even
been
if it's
there.
like, well, her hair is because she had to be there a long time to A, get it that long, and B, let all the red go out. So
Yeah, it's been there for like
unless
years.
she's actually the White Witch and Kat is just a descendant of her. I don't know. Maybe the White
She a
Witch.
doppelganger?
Ooh,
Oh,
a doppelganger.
That's
Are we
a
going doppelganger?
TVD line.
You never know.
I mean, there's always something from one of our shows and another show that we watch that ends up just coincidentally being there. So it's very possible. But it is kind of neat to see them in like their teen selves and then their adult selves. What kind of made me sad though is like the relationship with what are her friends, Alice's friends' names in the current
I don't even remember because I feel
I
like they're
don't
so
remember.
irrelevant.
Spencer. Spencer, right? Was one Spencer and Zoe.
Yeah.
Although Spencer has the last name, Zoe does not. Which seems kind of like, really?
Well, it's because Spencer is
Rude.
the son of that one girl.
Yes.
Kat's arch nemesis, as she called her.
Who she ends up being very good friends with.
Yes.
I was not trusting of her at all at the beginning.
No.
Like
At all.
not just at the beginning. It took me a long time. I just kept thinking she was gonna come in with like backstab her.
Honestly, what I kind of thought was that Byron had something to do with the he knows something is kind of what my thought was.
Look,
He's played by
I
Nigel
feel-
Whitney, and I thought Byron is the one who, like, her friend, what is her friend's name? Rita, I think. Marnie McPhail. I think she plays her friend Rita, Dell's friend Rita, who tries to push her to give up Jacob and be with Byron. I don't know. Maybe they see when there's a lake in front of a town that time travels. You don't know who's jumped in this lake. You don't know who knows what.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
can't trust anybody.
Very sneaky. You've created a show for yourself.
That's
that
true. We
literally
don't
anything is
know.
possible.
We don't know if
Anything
it's
is
just their
possible.
family who can time travel. Can anybody time
Right.
travel?
Well, the
'Cause
lake decides.
We believe that, right? Because Elliot wasn't able to, but it could have just been because, like we said, the lake just didn't want him to travel at that time. Like if he was to try it again, who knows if maybe he'd get through.
But like, how often did he try? Like, is he going back and trying like every hour on the hour for years?
We don't
and-
know, do we?
But every single time when the Landrys went in, they did time travel.
Not
it was
every
just
time.
really.
No,
Not
because
every
Alice tries because I just rewatched the first 2 episodes. Alice tries to go back again, and that's when like Elliot tells her like the lake decides when you can time travel because it wouldn't let her one time, so she had to wait a couple more days.
And I know that when you're there, like numerous days could eclipse, but it's
Yes.
really been one day. So that's the other thing is time is different. And I love that when Elliot's taking notes, just for decades, he's been taking notes on how this bond works and what it does. But that's one of the things, and that could play into Kat. So if we see in season 2, she comes back as the White Witch with that long hair, then we know that, okay, it's only been like a day. But
And maybe it's been
maybe she was
years for
back
her.
there for years and years and years that she was back in that other time period.
Could be.
Yes.
So the premise is that Jacob Landry, who's played by Remy Smith, he is obviously Kat's younger sister. It's Dell and Colton. Colton Landry is the dad. He's played by Jefferson Brown. I actually love his character. I really do. I like his
I
character a
still
lot.
want him to not be dead somehow. I
I
don't know how we make
know.
it happen. I just want it to happen so bad.
I think that because I actually thought that was going to happen. I thought that Kat was going to time travel the day he died. And because she tried that, didn't she? The day he died
Yeah.
to try to save him. And I think that one of these times it's going to be successful. But the lake seems to like be like, no, you can't change big things, but you can do little things and you can see how things happen. I'll give you information, but I won't let you completely alter.
I don't think they can like when it comes to death. I don't
Well,
think you can
I'm just
change
saying.
that.
I want it
Maybe
to
he didn't really die because he's a time traveler. So maybe he didn't. Maybe there's some law of physics
I'm telling
that
you,
says he
anything's
can't
possible.
die if he's a time traveler.
Anything's possible.
I mean, the time traveler's life, didn't he die a bunch of times, but he didn't actually die? I don't know. I could be making that up. I think he just got shot a couple times. I
Got
don't- I
shot
don't-
by a few
I
times.
don't remember.
I remember you.
In my head, apparently shooting equals death, and you'd get it once and you're just done.
Oh,
Yeah.
As One Tree Hill has clearly proven.
I have such a bad headache already just from talking about this show.
Okay. Well, the other storyline that happens within here is Al Mukadam, he plays Brady Dewan.
Mm-hmm.
He is an a-hole when he's a kid, but
So
also
is.
he divorces his wife because he has this nice young girl, but then he also gets like, I watched the episode recently a second time when she goes to prom with Elliot, when Kat and Elliot go to prom,
Mhm.
chaperone, and then Brady starts harassing her about how inappropriate she is. How dare she go on a date? dude, you divorced her and we're living with a 26-year-old, and then Kat still makes out with him. That was the most frustrating thing to watch. They make like some subtle changes to him, but I don't like his character at all.
No,
I don't either.
He's smarmy. He's only kind when it suits him. He's only nice
Yeah.
and he follows through things when he feels like it'll get him something. And the way he is with Dell, like I think Dell's the only one who really understands his real nature and character. Dell doesn't like him at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't either.
I don't think Colton did either.
I tried giving him a couple of chances,
Mhm.
but like
Not
really
as
after even after Teen Brady, because I was like, teenagers can change. It's
Mhm.
Mhm.
a lot can change from when you're a teenager, but just some of
Yeah.
the like he used his money for
Yeah.
anything that he needed, and it was
Mhm.
just very, I can't say the word, but a D-bag move. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the way he talked to Nick and the staff, like it just was
yeah,
Yes.
I just
maybe he traveled and he's like, okay, I know when I make my money, so I know when Alice comes. So after this, I'm going to divorce. Like I don't know. Maybe they all time traveled
Who
at different points in
knows?
time,
Don't
and that's why we're
forget-
all so confused.
That's gonna be the big reveal in season 2, is that everyone time travels.
So it is. I mean, I don't think we've given away much at all, really. But
Mhm.
I know that there are some people who understand that time travel, and it takes Kat a while. Like she doesn't realize, and that's something Elliot throws in her face: is your daughter has been leaving for days at a time, and you're just now noticing it because she was coming at him for being irresponsible and not telling him that she was time traveling, and she
Yeah.
was mad at him about that. Like, sorry, is this dude gonna come up and be like, "Hey, by the way, your daughter, she's a time traveler," and Kat's gonna be like, "Oh, she is? How interesting! That's not
No.
how that would play out." So what was he going to say to you?
Yeah.
But he throws in her face that, she's been gone and you haven't even noticed. So I think that's going to play into next season too, that she was an unobservant because she was so hyper focused. She got the job at the newspaper to try to figure out what happened to her brother as her mom is giving up. And that's one of the things that Dell gets mad at is she needs to give it up for her sanity because she's been living in this town, living in this
Yeah.
house, living with this disappearance for decades. And
Yeah.
she just has to release him because he's nowhere to be found after multiple decades. It's not just like 5 years went by, it's multiple decades.
Mhm.
If he's going to come home, he's going to come home. He's not, but she can't live there
She
anymore.
can't,
And
yeah.
because Kat just comes back, she's unwilling to let it go. So that's a contentious thing. But because Kat gets so immersed in this, she stops noticing Alice.
Yep.
So do you guys have any other theories you want to, what is your most solid theory you have going into season 2? Or something
Honestly,
maybe-
mine is just, I think Jacob went back in time
I like that
and
one.
got kind of stuck there for one reason or another. And I think in season 2, we'll meet Jacob not present day, but we'll meet Jacob, adult Jacob.
I think
I think
we're
we will.
gonna. I think a lot of next season, in my opinion, is gonna spin back in the time of the White Witch. I think we're gonna spend most of the season back there. I hope because I want
opposite?
to see what's going on. Yeah. I really like. I mean, I stand by the theory. I think there's got to be something to be said about him going back that far and that being probably about the time that the Landry Land probably came about and people like start.
Yeah. There's
I
a
think there's
reason
gotta be
why we know about
something-
that book and they're talking
Yes.
about Landry Land. There's a reason why.
So I think that I really think he's going to be sort of,
The
I don't know,
patriarch.
he's going to play part of that into being like the start of all of that. I don't know what other theories I have. I think there's more. I think there's more to Elliot. Like I said, I can't tell you what it is. It's just that last episode with Elliot and the way he left just left me feeling a little uneasy about it. So maybe there's something else he knows that
Yeah,
the
that's
rest
what
of
I
us
think.
don't know. And he like left for some reason. I
Like
don't know.
he's
I
the
think he
designated
knows more.
facilitator.
I
What about
think he
you,
definitely
Eve?
knows more.
My solid theory is that Jacob went back in time and couldn't find his way back, or maybe he didn't want to find his way back. I mean, that
Yeah.
could possibly be it too.
Especially if it all looked different and it wasn't Landry Land when he landed, he might not know his way back to the pond.
And
true.
I
I
am
mean, who knows? What if he like went up to the surface and like somebody had to like save him from the water? Maybe he doesn't know how he got there or where he is, or
It's true.
Yeah, I am hoping that next season we get to see more in that timeline as to, where
It's
Jacob
gonna be
went.
fun. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have any theories, but I like all of yours. I'm so confused by the end of this because
I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I had a solid theory solid. It was very plot holy and very like, oh, but could this be real? This until that last episode, and then I was like, okay, I'm starting all over, and now I have no idea what's happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
So-
that's me. Like I was convinced that was Dell, and like
Mm-hmm.
somehow she had known all this stuff, and she had been time traveling too. And then I was like, well, never mind, that's Kat. I did not think it was Kat. I thought it was Dell
Maybe
or it
it's
was
not
Alex.
Cat though. Maybe it's just the cat doppelganger.
That could be too. But
It's a show
Just
about
saying.
time travel. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen if you just believe.
exactly.
And we do.
So I think that's as detailed as we want to get for you, but it is a really good show. If what we said confused you, good. Join the rest of us because we're also really confused. So we tried to give you what we could give you without breaking it down too much, without giving, because it is a mystery. So we do want you to watch the show. It's really good. Again, you can find it on Peacock, or if you have Amazon Prime and you subscribe to Hallmark through Amazon Prime, you can do that. Or even if you just subscribe to Hallmark, you can do that. It is a Hallmark show, but don't let that fool you. I know that when people think Hallmark, they think of the
Cheesy
Christmas movies
rom-com.
that
It's
I
not your
absolutely
typical
love.
Hallmark.
It's not, no. And it's a show. When Hallmark does movies, it's different than when they do a show.
Yeah.
So give it a shot. Watch that. Season 2 is going to come back on January 21st. And I'm pretty sure it's going to release week by week. I think when
That's
we
what
saw
it
it,
did.
It's
Yeah.
a
It,
week.
it did that before. Yeah.
so I think we can safely assume that the next section is only going to be another 10 episodes.
Mhm.
Because that's all this one was. It's a my 13-year-old did it in a day and a half. It's a super quick watch. Check it out. Watch that. Let us know what you think. We want to know what your theories are, please.
Mhm.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a comment down below of what you think it is. If you're listening to us on our Spreaker platform, which by the way, we operate off of Spreaker now. Go ahead and check us out on Spreaker.com. Look up Fandom Family Chats. Listen to us on there. We are available on other podcast platforms as well, but Spreaker's our main one. Okay, so on this one, we're doing things a little different. We don't have a Facebook group for this. We're branching out because honestly, if we had a Facebook group for every show that we watched, we would never leave our homes and it would be a lot of work. And so we don't do that. So catch us on Instagram. We'll put up a little post about the way home and let us know on Instagram. You can find us again, Fandom Family Chats. Same with TikTok, Fandom Family Chats. As it gets closer to premiere, we'll start putting out some more stuff about it. Let us know on there what your theories are before it starts. We'd like to hear what you have. And we'd like to see if maybe we're going to adopt some of your ideas as our own and claim them as our own. We'll give you partial credit. So do that. And you can catch all of our upcoming premiere episodes. They will be coming out throughout the next few months as shows premiere. Catch out. If you haven't watched our One Tree Hill series, go back, watch those. Watch a review on the other Zoe. That's another Prime show that you can watch. Costs a little bit. Worth it. Catch out all that stuff. And we'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at Wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.